In The Collection, a man who escapes from the vicious grips of the serial killer known as the Collector is blackmailed into rescuing an innocent girl from the killer's booby-trapped warehouse.
With over 50 people still missing, grieving families are seeking answers.
I'm working for a man whose daughter's gone missing. She's all I have. Find her. Was she alive?
Last time I saw her.
48 hours before she's dead.
You want to find this guy, you gotta start at the beginning. You gotta be prepared. Bring everything you got. Because if he catches you, he's gonna make you wish you were dead.
Full disclosure, I thought The Collector was a very silly movie, and I did not expect much more from The Collection. Now, if you enjoyed The Collector, there's a very good chance that you will enjoy The Collection. That being said, I thought The Collection was a very silly movie. Now, I have to point out that Saw 4, 5, 6, and 7 were written by the same guys who wrote and directed The Collector and The Collection, and I was a big Saw defender when that series was still going on, but looking back now that it's been a few years since the last one, those are not very good movies, and I mean, I may have enjoyed aspects of them, but overall they're not very good, and it's mainly in the writing. And I have to say that The Collection really kind of just feels like a Saw 4, 5, 6, or 7 type of movie. It has the same kind of tone, the same kind of writing, obviously, I guess, and similar acting, and just overall it feels the same. And that's also possibly because Charlie Clouser, who scored the Saw series, also scored The Collection, and Kevin Greutert, who edited the Saw series movies, edited The Collection. So it makes sense why it feels similar, and I just want to say that, in all fairness, if you are a fan of these movies and defending them at this point, I understand, because I did the same with Saw for a while, and maybe you'll feel differently a few years after this series is over, but for what it's worth, it feels like a latter half of the Saw series type of movie, and I don't mean that in a good way. Is The Collection entertaining? Sure. Is The Collection gory? Yeah, and I can't imagine the size of the squishy sound effects database they must have over there. But is The Collection very overly serious and, like I said, very silly? Maybe because of that or in spite of it? Yes, it definitely is. And so I wasn't able to actually take it seriously, and I'm not the type that laughs in a movie if something is overly serious and I think it's dumb, because I think it's not rude, because I don't know, who cares in the theater, but I couldn't help it in this one. Some stuff got so silly by the end of it, and the fact that the tone was not silly makes it just, you know, whatever. But like I said, I wasn't expecting anything more, so this is pretty much in line with my expectations, and if you enjoyed The Collector, which I felt similarly about, you will probably enjoy The Collection, or at least you might enjoy The Collection. I can't guarantee you will. But let's get a little bit more in-depth with The Collection, starting off with the plot and the writing, which, as I said, silly. I think that this is definitely a style over substance type of thing, because you know that they just want to do these traps, if you want to call them traps, whatever they are, torture things. And I really feel like the story's on the back burner, and the main focus is the traps. And that's really what started to happen to the Saw series, so it's not surprising that this is the same type of thing. But once again, this is basically Home Alone meets Saw. And the one thing I have to say is that it's very clear from the advertising and from the movie in general that they are trying to, well, aside from turn this into a series of movies, they're trying to make the Collector, this character, into like a classic horror villain or icon. It really comes across that way, and I, to be honest, couldn't care much less about the Collector. I don't want to know his backstory. I don't want to know what he's doing next. I just really don't care, and I can't imagine that many people are going to care. There's nothing really special about him. It's just kind of a guy who, I don't know, sets up these traps and tortures people, and I just really don't care. I'm not that interested in any more of his story. Directing-wise, the tone of this movie, like I said, very overly serious for what it's worth. I don't think this movie should take the serious route, because it's really kind of just a go and see how people are going to get effed up kind of movie. I don't think anybody's really going into it for this in-depth story, even though they're definitely trying to create something of a story, and I just don't really think it's worth it, as I said. But as far as the gore goes, if that's all you're going for, if that's all that really matters in these movies, yeah, it's a lot of fun. Most of it is very silly looking because, I don't know, you just see, like, somebody's arm break, and you know it's not real, and in the moment, everyone's kind of going like, oh god, oh god, and so it's not, like, scarring anyone, I don't think, but it's certainly enjoyable to be in a theater where everyone is like, oh god, when, you know, someone gets like a nail shoved through their hand. It's enjoyable and entertaining, which is sick, I guess, to say it's enjoyable, but you get the idea. It's that type of movie. Once in a while, it definitely felt like Saw 2, though, I have to say, because it's similar in the sense that they are going through this house of horrors, and of course you've got Charlie Clouser's score underneath, and I will say that it doesn't really feel like Saw too much in the sense that, like, they don't rip off the same editing style or visual style or anything like that, but it's very obvious that it has that feeling of, like I said, Saw 4 through 7's type of movie. And acting-wise, I have to say that some of them were good, some of them were bad. The side people at the start of the movie, any, I guess, side characters throughout, are pretty bad, I think. But for the most part, the acting, I don't think, was an issue. It's just that the actors are doing silly things, I guess. Not silly things so much as, you know, I don't know, like I said, it's kind of got a silliness to it that I guess is probably not intended because it feels like they're trying to take it a little more seriously. But yeah, I don't think the acting really was a problem. It's just that the movie overall, for me personally, is just a style over substance with not even much of an amazing style or anything like that. So to say style over substance makes it sound like it's got a great style. It's really all about the traps and the gore and the gross out stuff, and they're definitely trying to add more to it under the surface, but I really don't think it's going to work because I just can't imagine how interested someone could be in this Collector character. I don't get it, but maybe that's just me once again. Maybe you enjoyed the Collection. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the Collection. Were you a fan of the Collector? Do you think the Collection was better or on the same level or worse? Let me know if you didn't like the Collector, but you went to see the Collection anyway, and how you think it compares. Let me know if you agree or disagree that this is really more about the traps than the story, or if you think that they are even. Let me know what you think about this, because I really feel like I'm on one side, and I see a lot of people on the other side, a lot of people that really enjoyed the Collector and are looking forward to the Collection, so not saying it's bad for everybody, the fans might like it, but I'm really curious to see what you think, so please let me know anything that you want about the Collection, and that's pretty much it.